Friday. Oh my goodness. Happy Friday. How are you doing? Oh, I'm so excited for our date night. Are you ready? I am ready. Let's do it. Even my kids are ready. Can you hear them? They're ready for our date night. I'm so excited to see you. I want to know how your week went. I'm going to share mine, obviously, but I really, really want to know how your week went. Go ahead and tell me. This week was like super eventful, I think. And I don't know why. It just seemed a little bit more busier than normal. I just switched my working schedule to where I move meetings to certain times of the day. And I am basically really, really hands-on with my children now with their homeschooling. So it went kind of blew past. Like every hour I'm checking to make sure that they got their classwork done and all this stuff. And I know you're probably like, Antonia, how do you do all of this and run a business and, make sure your kids are in school? Well, faith. Faith, a lot of prayer, and just a lot of patience, and a lot of like moments to myself in a quiet space, because it's very frustrating sometimes. As if your children are at home learning too, and you're running a business, I'm sure you 100% understand. So yeah, fun stuff. So it is an accomplishment that we made it here today. Oh, it's Friday. So I know I was late last week because I was trying to get all this stuff ready or whatnot, but I'm on time this week and I'm so happy that you're on time. Everybody else can come on later, but who's here? Me and you. So, hi. I'm so excited to see you. Oh my goodness. Simone says, amen. I know. We made it. We have overcome, right? So excited. Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and go over our weekly wins like normal. Okay. I want to know what you guys accomplished this week. What was your win? What was your hashtag win, right? So in this group that I have, women entrepreneurs who left their 9-to-5 or want to, I posted up the same question, and some of the women have responded. They are like moving and shaking out here in these streets in this pandemic. They're signing clients. They're helping people get financial packages and life insurance policies. They are killing it. They're in it to win it. Okay. My win this week is I finished the curriculum for my upcoming challenge next week. It's called Market My Business. It starts on Monday, the 26th. That's what I had to think about the date, the 26th. And at 6 p.m. And we're going to talk about all things marketing for your small business, right? We're going to go over landing pages, the tech behind everything. We're going to go over your brand's voice and your voice, and are they the same or are they not the same? So we're going to be talking about a lot of fun things over that 5-day challenge. And then at the end, we're going to tie it all together so you can market your business like a pro. So I'm done with my commercial. But I really, really hope you guys can join. I think it's going to be just an amazing experience. And then something different about my challenge than most challenges is you're going to get a kick-ass workbook, a thick 37-page workbook for you, for your notes, for your journey, for your process. This isn't just a regular challenge where I send you some emails and you don't do anything with them. No, we're going to dig in deep. We're going to get personal, and we're going to talk about your business face to face, just like this, just like our date night. And we're going to figure out how to market your business like a pro. So I'll see you guys on Monday too. So excited. Let me see if someone says, Simone says, I believed I could do it. Yes, you can. Anything you put your mind to, Simone, especially virtual school for the kids, right? So as you guys probably see, we have a special guest tonight. I'm so excited for you to meet this woman. I've just met her probably about 20 minutes ago, and I'm already super excited about her story. And I told her not to tell me everything because I want to experience it with you. Like, what's the point of going to an entertainment for our date night and dinner if I've already seen the show, right? So I'm going to be blown away just like you guys in a few moments. I definitely want to talk to her. The topic for tonight is actually getting out of your own way. Boom. Look at her face, right? She looks like she knows some stuff. She gonna teach us. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, cool. So that'll be in a second. So because we have a guest, I'm gonna skip over the what I want to know segment because I want to give her ample amount of time to teach us what she knows about getting out of our own way. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll into our mission. So as you guys probably know, Assist-U's mission is to help 100 businesses either start or launch a new product or service. So we are well on our way. I'm not going to even sit up here and tell you guys the number because we have so many launches in process right now, including some of our own. So especially with the 5-day challenge, the Market My Business challenge, right? That is considered to be one of our launches, even though it's internal. So I definitely want to catch you guys up probably next week. But I'll go ahead and give you a little sneak peek of another one of our launches that we're actually doing in a few days. So let me go ahead and share this with you now. So Assist-U is launching a new segment. We're turning into a full-blown TV show or live show or streaming show, okay? We now have added 2 more nights. They're not date nights because it's not Friday, but we're going to be talking about some of the same things, and we're going to have more guests for you. It's called Business Nights with Antonia. We're going to talk about current events, things that are changing in all different industries. We're going to have people coming on to share their levels of expertise and their experiences to possibly help maybe you or someone you know with their business. So that was the main purpose of me starting these lives, was to help people learn about all things business and to talk about all things business because that's what I love. So when the floodgates open and people want to join in, I mean, I can't say no. So I'm going to be here with you guys on Mondays and Wednesdays at, I believe it's 8 p.m. Ooh, yeah, that's late. I'm getting kind of old, but I'm gonna get through it, and I think I'll be able to with the adrenaline because we're talking about my favorite things, right? All things business. So Mondays and Wednesdays, starting, I believe, next week. Don't quote me. I got to ask my team, but I think it's going to start next week where we're going to have people on here on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8. So the more time we get to spend together, you know, it touches my heart. So, okay, great. Let's see. Someone says, hey there. So if you are watching this inside of a group, go ahead and click the link up top and let StreamYard see your name so I can see your beautiful name and say hello back to you. But in the meantime, hi. I love it. Let's see. Simone says, email me a breakdown on one-on-one consultation. You don't have to answer this now. Yes, I will help you. I will send you information for a one-on-one consultation, Simone. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get into our topic. So I'm about to bring, her name is Michaela. Michaela, sorry. It's Michaela, and she goes by Kai, and she is, what do they call it in Girlfriends? An authoress, a best-selling authoress. She wrote an amazing book called Strip My Truth. Okay, Strip to My Truth. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring her on. You guys, please give her a warm welcome and say hi.
Hi.
It's so nice to meet you.
It is nice to meet you too. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. You have no idea. I typically get excited, but not when I meet celebrities, people who've written their whole life in a book. I don't know what to do with myself. This is secure, so I don't know. Oh my goodness. So how are you doing this evening?
I am doing doing great today. How are you?
I'm doing good. I mean, now we're here. It's Friday. It's
Yes,
after 8.
yes.
Boom.
TGIF, yes.
Awesome. So let me go ahead and let's get started. So I just wanted to have you introduce yourself to our audience because, I mean, yes, I met you a couple minutes ago, but I still don't know who you
Yeah.
are. So who are you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hello, loves. Hello, all. My name is Michaela Thomas, aka Kai. I am a mom of a beautifully blended family. All in all, we have a total of 11 babies. Well, I can't even call all of them babies anymore. They're my babies. I'll put it like that. I am authoress. I am mom. I am, you name it, I am that.
I love that you have 11 kids. I have 5. So when people hear that I have 5, they don't really know what to do with it. Like they're like,
look, right?
why? Why do you have 5 kids?
Yeah, it usually comes with like the look and a whole army of questions thereafter. So it's like an interview outside of an interview.
I love it. So, I mean, and I also love that you're a blended family. My family is also blended as well. I have a stepson. I've been around him since like just after he was potty trained.
Yeah.
And my 2 oldest sons, they were around my now husband just after the little one was, well, he was potty training. So we've been together since the children, wee little bits. But sometimes it is difficult. I find being a blended family when you have to not deal with, but, include other outside parents.
Yeah.
So how do you navigate that with so many children and so many needs at one time?
Quite honestly, that has always been a work in progress. I think at this point, after 9-10 years, we've mastered it pretty well. But one of the major things, communication is definitely in the forefront. Now, unfortunately, communication is not everybody's forte. There are going to be those underlying issues, but as long as you have a solid plan within your family, I think that's what will always work best and be key. Because we can't all be on different pages and different accords trying to get to the end summary. That unfortunately just doesn't work. Sometimes you really just kind of got to do your best at it, do your side of it, of what needs to happen, and kind of try to let the rest fall into place. But that's actually coming up in a second book here soon, so you guys see that soon. Kind of like
looks like an inside sneak peek. So let's talk about this book, Stripped to My Truth.
Yes.
Expound upon that, because I was reading some of your website and then I was like, oh, it's going to tell me something about it and I want to be surprised. So go ahead and tell me what that book is about.
So Stripped to My Truth, Unpacking the Emotional Baggage is exactly, it's exactly what it sounds like. Coming from, my story, my personal view. A lot of times we live life, we go through our journey, we go down dark roads, and sometimes we feel like we're by ourselves. We feel like there's no one else who will understand. There's no one else who will get it. There's no one else that we can talk to about these certain situations and things like that. So a lot of times, most of us will suffer in silence. Most of us will just kind of go through these things and go through the motions, not really understanding what it's going to take to get past these situations. So, kind of unpacking the emotional baggage is literally just removing each layer of emotional baggage, emotional turmoil, things that you've gone through layer by layer, and getting down to you. It's getting back to you before you piled on any and everything else that maybe the world told you that you were, or maybe family members told you that you were, friends that you thought were friends, and things that maybe you believed about yourself that were never true. So, it's really, what is it about yourself that has you here in this place? What puts you here?
Right.
Is it, you know, A, B, and C, Tom, Dick, and Harry, or was it you? Was it you that made the choice, that opened the door, knowing that, hey, maybe this wasn't a great idea? Or, you know, was it something that was really, truly out of your control? So that's what Stripped to My Truth, Unbreaking the Emotional Baggage, that's where we break it all down.
So I feel like, so you said so many things that I think resonates with so many different people at any given moment in their life. So like for me specifically, I don't know if I was necessarily taught how to be true to myself.
Yeah.
Like I know I was taught to be obedient. I was, well, as much as my parents could,
Yeah.
right? I was taught to, be smart and to be, polite and respectful. But I don't think my parents ever said to me, hey, Antonia, whoever you think you are, that is what you can be. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that was something that was big in my household and maybe not a lot of people's household. And so because of that, I think it's so difficult for us as adults to then know who we are, or that it's okay to be with ourselves, unless, a radio is telling you, or a celebrity is telling you, or, a graphic on social media. So that's pretty powerful that you actually wrote an entire book about some of those major things that when we were children, we weren't taught. So how did you learn that? Did just life teach you?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, a lot of times, and it's no bearing on them. Unfortunately, it's a part of a generational holding. Some people like to call it a generational curse. It's a generational holding where sometimes passed down from generation to generation, or parent to, grandparent to parent, that we don't always know who we really are. That's one thing we haven't figured out. We know who we're told to be. We know who our parents want us to be. We know who our grandparents want us to be. We know who our friends want us to be. But we never sit and think, who do I want to be? Who am I?
It's so crazy, because I was just talking to my business bestie as I was getting ready before this live, and I was like, completely very transparent. I was like, who am I? That's exactly what I said.
And we all have those moments. We do, because we're like, okay, we're so busy taking care of, the world. And a lot of times we don't stop and think and say, well, what do I want? Who am I? What am I doing? What is my end goal here? Not as far as, monetary wealth or, success and, all of the above. What is it that is going to make me happy to my core? Who is it that I can be in my own skin that's going to keep me not comfortable, not content, but genuinely and authentically happy? Who am I? Period. A lot of people can't answer that question.
I found out today, with me asking that very question, I am an evolving person right now. So who I was in January is not the same Antonia Mason that I am here in October.
Absolutely.
Totally different person. Right. And that's okay. But the fact that you were able to so intelligently, lace it into words, into paragraphs, into a book, and talk about how you were basically stripped down to your truth, that is super brave and courageous. I don't think I've ever would have said that out loud to anyone else, except for my business bestie, had you not written this book. That is, I believe it to be very profound, right? So now that you are stripped to the truth, where do you go from there? Like, what is the next point now that you're stripped? So what happens?
From there, you honestly continue to evolve. A lot of times people think that because you've figured this portion of your life out, that, oh, now I'm happy, now I'm where I want to be, now I'm healed, and that's it. Healing is not completion, nor is it perfection. Healing is everlasting and it's forever evolving. You never fully heal. Which is why, if something maybe from your past triggers you, you may have a teardrop, or you may go into an instant daze of, maybe that moment, it still affects you. And that's okay. That's the human part of you. It's supposed to. What's not supposed to happen is you're not supposed to dwell in that moment. It's not supposed to take you back to that dark space that you were in before.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to mentally and emotionally disrupt you to the point where now you've gone backwards and you're having to come from that space again. So in moving forward, for me, it is definitely continuing to grow, continuing to learn what I want versus what others may want for me. I can say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that's what you want from me. That's okay. I appreciate that. But this is the direction that I'm going to go. Before, I was afraid to say that. I was afraid to reject their idea of who I was or who I was supposed to be because I didn't want that confrontation. Now it's like, you know, quite honestly, I'll take all the smoke if that's the case, because you can't tell me who I'm going to be.
Right. Because, I mean, why would you allow someone else to tell you who to be? You're an adult now. So when you're a child, your parents tell you, your pastor tells you, maybe, you know, media may tell you. But once you become an adult, you're supposed to be having your own mind. Right. So why not sit down and figure out exactly who you are? Which is super, it's amazing. I mean, it sounds so simple, right? Like,
it does.
Figure out who you are. But okay, so a little bit about me. I love reality TV shows or reality TV shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just be honest. I love, most people who know me know I love 90 Day Fiance. Like, that's my jam. Yeah. Like 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, The Other Way, like all of those spinoffs. I even like watching the people on the couch, watching the people watch the show. Okay. It's my pleasure. So, but what I'm finding with all these people is that so many people have absolutely no idea who they are. They have no idea what they want. And they're just chasing after this quick fix, you know, let me hurry up and get married. Let me marry somebody blind, because I watch that show too. Like all these different things. So how would you suggest people, you know, wake up, or I guess get woke out of that kind of cycle where they're constantly searching because they don't just know how to sit down with themselves and actually figure it out?
So a lot of people mistake being with yourself with being by yourself. And I'm going to tell you now, sweetie, those are two different things.
Okay, break it down.
They are completely two different things. When you are with yourself, you're literally learning who you are, characteristic by characteristic, the things that you love, the things that you hate, sitting in your mess, sitting in your happiness, your tears, your anger, your frustration, you're sitting in it all. When you are with yourself, you are literally living moment to moment. You're not existing with blinders on. You're living moment to moment in what and who you are. You're literally every emotion that comes to you, whether you like it or not. It's not about being easy. It's not about taking the best road that's going to provide the most light, because sometimes you have to go down those dark roads that are going to make you stumble. You're going to have to get down on all fours, hands and knees, to search around for that light switch on your own. Nobody can hold your hand. So, you know, for us, and this was me once upon a time, we get comfortable with being comfortable.
Oh, ooh, that makes me itch. I hate that.
We get comfortable with being comfortable. So when we're uncomfortable, we are the most paranoid, uneasy, you know, filtered human beings that we could ever possibly be. It's disturbing, almost. And for a lot of us, it is disturbing. But when you get to that point of being uncomfortable in unfamiliar settings and, you know, your emotions being disturbing to you, that is the beginning of your growth. When I'm
at the beginning. I'm at the beginning. What did you say? Growth.
Yes. Growth. And you have to, yes.
you just go, you allow yourself to feel it, right? At least that's what I'm hearing. Okay.
You have to, because if you don't, you're going to continue to walk around with blinders. And as long as you are willing to walk around with blinders, you are completely okay with going through the rest of your life not being who you're supposed to be.
It's crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect your book and what our discussion is to business, right? So many of our audience, listeners, watchers, whatever you want to call them, so many just people in business in general, they will start a business all excited, all, just letting it take over their lives, letting their friendships fall to the wayside, the relationships fall to the wayside. Their kids who are doing virtual school, they just let them, fail or whatever. But they just don't know, like once it gets hard, they don't know what to do. Or if they're not making sales, they start to immediately think it's them. Yeah. Or, they're not strong in who they are and what they have to offer. And this is directly related to the conversation I had today with my business bestie. With I believe it's called imposter syndrome. Where we go through that and we have no idea what we are. So what would you suggest a business owner or, just a person in general, what can they do to continue to remind themselves? Is it just affirmations or what else can we do?
No, you can read affirmations every day, but if you're not doing the work, what good are those affirmations? When you are on this venture, whether it's a personal one or a professional, first of all, you have to remember why you're doing it. Remember why you're doing it. Second of all, you're going to have, I don't care if you have 10 business partners, you're going to have a conversation with your star player every day. Yeah. You're going to have that conversation with you every day. I don't care if you look crazy to your kids, having that conversation in the mirror. If that's what you need to do, by all means, that's what you need to do. I am a mom, 9 of our 11 are in the house. I work 2 full-time jobs from my desk in the kitchen while virtually teaching my children. If I can do this working 2 full-time jobs, just published a book, working on a second, and teaching 9 children on top of keeping this household together, tell me what's your excuse.
Right. Oh,
tell me what's
your excuse. There isn't one.
No, but if you are willing to give yourself an excuse, you don't want it as bad as you say you do. Because you're gonna have to. You can sit here and say, "Oh, I didn't just work 8 hours for A, B, and C." It's times where I will sit on that phone from 6, 7 a.m. to 3:30 in the afternoon, and then turn around and work a job from maybe 8 that morning, overlapping until 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. If I just gave them 16 hours or 8 hours of my life, why can't I give my business or myself or my personal life an additional 4 or 5 hours?
People always say to me, Antonia, I don't know how you do it. And I'm like, well, how do you not do it? How do you not do it? Like, what is it that you want? What are you striving for? Because to me and my goals and my endpoint and goals are always ever moving. Yes. They're like that point in the sunset that you can never get close to, right? With the ocean. That's how I operate. And I thrive off of that because I want to keep chasing after it. So I don't understand when people who may have no children or have one and they're, teenagers or grown and they just have stopped.
Yeah. I mean, ideally we have to give up that notion. I mean, honestly, perfection is a ridiculous idea. If you're talking about starting a business, it's not gonna be perfect, sis. It's not. It's really not. Start it anyway. And you have to give it the same attention and the same energy you give to social media, just recreationally. That's the same amount of energy and attention that you have to give it professionally.
I'm so happy you said that. So not to try to do another plug, but in the challenge next week, we're talking about transitioning our minds with social media from personal and from, having Facebook remind you of people's birthdays and anniversaries and a place to store your pictures to looking at it as an actual business, a lead generating platform and using it as such, not losing your personality, but using it as such. So when people say, oh, I don't have time, or, I just didn't get anything done today, but you've been on Pinterest all day, which is very addicting. And you've been, You've been
I
watching
know.
videos? Right. I got a couple boards. Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, what is the excuse? So, and I'm not trying to shame anyone. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to say you have to be an entrepreneur. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
You can be an employee for someone else and still have a thriving, ever evolving life. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Okay, great. So you agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what we're saying. We're just saying,
No.
Find your truth, figure out what actually really makes you happy, and then build upon that. Right.
Absolutely. It's not, it's not shaming at all. I mean, honestly, me personally, a lot of people, I get DMs literally on the daily, how would you explain this or how would you explain that? And, and giving my response, and people are like, well, you're really unfiltered. And it's like, when it comes to personal growth or even professional growth, there's really no way to sugarcoat exactly what you need to know and what you need to learn in order to excel. Because starting out, it took me 5 years to write this book.
Okay.
And it's because I doubted myself. I second guessed myself. I, got it in my head. Nobody wants to hear this story, So there were plenty of times where I picked up the pen and I put it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, my fiance he jumped in my behind. He said, you know what? You're going to write this.
Oh,
you're going to finish it.
I love it.
Somebody needs to hear your story, and you have to be the one to tell it.
Go husband for the win. Yes.
And it's like, I'm like, okay, yes, sir. I can't, because after thinking about it, it's like, and I had run into countless people at that time who had literally been through various situations, some of them being similar, some of them being the exact same that I had been in. And it's like, how can I sit here and tell this to you when there are hundreds and thousands of other people who have been through the same thing, and they need to know and they need to hear the same thing I'm telling you. So if I can reach you and I can help you, then that means I can help everyone else.
That's right.
And I had to stop comparing myself and comparing my story to other people's story, because that was making me drown.
Right.
I couldn't accept my blessings because I'm looking at theirs.
Right. Right.
So yeah, it's sometimes you have to have that raw, unfiltered, no nonsense truth in order to kind of jolt you and wake you up and say, oh, okay, sis ain't playing. She really telling me the truth. Okay, I got it. I heard you.
Yes. So we have a question real quick, because gosh darn, we are talking about some good stuff right now. Hold on, let's see. So Simone says, how do you hold the momentum? So I think she means like maybe in her life or business. So basically, how do you stay motivated and excited to keep moving forward?
Honestly, really, my kids. It's not about, for me personally, it's not about giving them the life I never had or the things I never had. It's really teaching them things that maybe my mom didn't know to teach me, or maybe things that she learned later on that, she wasn't able to quite put into words. It's really just wanting them, this world is cold. It's so much worse now than it was when I was a kid. So the momentum for me is literally wanting to teach them better. In order for me to teach them better, I have to go through the lessons myself so that they know, and we're a very open and raw family. We communicate, very freely in this house, sometimes maybe a little too free, but we're able to discuss and talk about, anything that's on our minds, issues, questions. And a lot of it is, my son, our 9-year-old, he's like, Mommy, you finished your book? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, so that means we're going to be rich? I'm like, well, son, claim the blessings, but there's still a journey and a pathway before, that door opens, if that's the door that God chooses us to walk through. So for me, it's really about the transition and the continued growth. Don't get it twisted. Money is a bonus.
Yes.
However, for me, I'm an empath. I've always been an empath. I've always been about, others. And honestly, for me, the greatest lesson and the greatest momentum in this is not just teaching my children, but it's also being able to reach out to others and help them along the way. Because what good are my blessings if I can't reach back and pull somebody else up with me?
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly, I feel like we know each other. Like, that's what it's all about.
Virtual hugs.
Right. And and I was talking to my mother-in-law last night, and it's not about being boastful. You could still be humble and be confident in your abilities, is what she was counseling me on. Which is, a very, very smart and very important thing as you are finding your success, as all of the energy you're putting out is coming back to you. To remember, I think, and you have it down 100% packed. Okay, let me just let you know. So it's practice. I know. It's so good. Well, let me see. So Simone said, "Oh, virtual hug."
Virtual hug.
I love my audience. Like we do hugs. And then Shaquana says, "Yes, if you're comfortable, you're not growing."
Absolutely.
Terrence says, "Let grow." That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And then Takia, of course, she said, "Wow, the whole conversation from earlier." Yes. Yes. So, okay. So I went ahead and I put into the chat the link to your website, to the shop on your website, so everybody can go out and purchase your book. But I want to go ahead, and because it's almost been about 40 minutes and I don't want to keep you any longer, I want to go through our fire round. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
All right. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions. I don't even know what they are. I'm about to think about them as we talk. And then you just answer them as quickly and open and honestly as you possibly can. Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So first one. Who was the worst pregnancy out of all your kids?
Oh, good God. My twins.
Oh, gosh, because there was 2 heads.
Yes.
My
twins. They were early. Actually, you know what? It was all of my girls. All of my girls were early. The twins and my oldest being, I was 26 and a half weeks when I had them. So it was almost unbearable having to leave them at the hospital in the NICU and go home without them. So those were the hardest times for me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I almost had to leave my little Messiah because he had jaundice. I was like, nope, you could just bill my insurance. I'm staying. He's staying.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Okay. So second question. Do you guys talk openly about politics in your family?
Yes. Nowadays we don't do it around the children. Because we, of course, have a few, choice, not so kid-friendly words. But, we talk about it. We talk about the realness of politics nowadays. And, everything involved with the government. I
guess this is question part 2 of part 2. So did your parents talk about politics when you were raised? Because mine didn't.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's what I was thinking. All right. Awesome. So what was the third question is, what was the most surprising thing that you learned after you launched your book?
The feedback, honestly. Okay. I always try to keep a positive mind no matter what. But just within that pre-order stage, those 3.5, 4 months were like, I was doing a praise dance just about every other day, if not every day. I was like, are you serious? Yeah, I I did a ding on my phone. I'm like, what? We got another one. But the overwhelming response in Facebook messages, Instagram messages, email of people that have purchased and read it, I was overwhelmed. I was happy to be able to, reach them from a personal and relatable standpoint.
Okay. So another family related question. So how did you know that your husband was the one for you to marry?
You know what? I have had my fair share of frogs. And, we have been through some things.
Okay.
And, no matter what, at the end of the day, there has always been that underlying, not just love, because love alone is not going to get it.
No,
it's not.
it's not.
And what people mistake as a happy relationship is never fighting, never arguing, never, going through the bad times, but it's those bad times that have made us as strong as we have been.
Mhm.
And, anytime it's been, I'm stubborn. I don't give up that easy. So it's like, it's one of those situations where you fight for the things that you want. And in that you learn, okay, this is it.
Okay. And last and final question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I don't know how old you are, but I'm thinking probably like maybe around 12. So if you were talking to your 12-year-old self, which wasn't that long ago, right? That's what we're going to say. It wasn't that long ago. What would you tell her to help make those couple of years to get to where you are now a little bit easier?
That you are beautiful. It is okay to say no.
Yeah.
And that you are fierce and amazing no matter what.
Get it? 12-year-old self say, yes, ma'am. Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm so happy that you got a chance to be on our Friday Night Live sessions, to join our date night. I love it so much. It's like my sacred night of the week. And you were just so amazing to get to know. So I really appreciate you making time, carving time out of your family time to come on and meet and talk to us. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. You have to come back when the second book comes out for sure. Is that a deal?
Oh, of course. That's a promise. Of course.
Okay, so stick around backstage and then I will tell you thank you again, okay? But everybody say goodbye to Miss.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Isn't that amazing? Oh, I hope you were uplifted and encouraged tonight on this Friday Night Live session. I feel like our date nights just keep getting better and better. Maybe it's because our relationship of meeting on this date night is stronger and stronger every single Friday. What do you think? Oh, I think Simone says, this is great. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, awesome talk. See, it's because we're still together. So let's come on and continue to be together. And I can see you more often now on Wednesday and Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the same exact place when we start our business nights with Antonia. So I just want to say, thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing into this fun night. I really appreciate you always coming up and showing out and jumping into the comments. I appreciate each and every one of you, especially you. So have a great weekend. I will see you guys hopefully in the next couple of days if we start business nights with Antonia on Monday. And if not, I'll see you next Friday on our date night. Bye.